Hi, I'm Ashley. The story I want to share is about an investigation and a couple of revelations, so let's get to it. I live with my mom since my parents are divorced, and I spend time with my dad on the weekends. It's been like this for a while already, and on weekdays, my dad is really busy, so our plans never change. On weekends, we spend time at his place, and he never visits our house since there's still tension between him and my mom. You know, this happens sometimes. So all their communication is really awkward most of the time. Because of that, my mom and I were pretty surprised to see him pull up to our house randomly on a Wednesday night when we were just about ready to go to bed. He came in looking really edgy, like something shocking had just happened and he needed to talk about it. On that Wednesday night, my dad was using a dating app. Imagine how awkward this was to talk about for all three of us, but I'm not judging. He's a single man now, and I'd be happy if my parents moved on already. But anyway, that's not what the story is about. So my dad was on this dating app, swiping through pictures of single women when he came across a profile of a young girl named Ashley, with pictures of his daughter and a frisky status. He showed us the pics. They were mine. He started with this nervous monologue about me trying to get in trouble by posting my pictures on there and lying about my age and writing things like that. I mean, I tried to interrupt him right away, but he didn't even hear me. Then I finally managed to explain that I had never done anything like that, and that this was catfishing, plus also identity theft, which was even more shocking, to be honest. Dad would not calm down. He started telling me about the dangers of posting pictures on Instagram. And by the way, these were just plain cute pics I took when we went out with friends or when we were hiking in the summer. There was really nothing extraordinary there. When he finished, or at least paused, I looked at the pictures again, and I realized that I had never even posted most of them online, so there was no way that they were taken from my Instagram account. It took me a while to process all of this. I remembered that these were the pics I sent to some of my friends, but again, that was it. Dad wanted to go straight to the police station, but I asked him to hang on and let me try to settle this on my own. I suspected that this was done by someone I knew. So the next day, I told the whole story to my boyfriend, Clay. I really liked that he didn't hesitate and was enthusiastic about finding the culprit, so the investigation had begun. First, I looked through all the pictures I'd sent to people over the last year. It turned out the pics in question were sent to Mom and Dad, to Clay, and to a group chat with 3 of my friends. I didn't want to think that one of them would do something like that, but we had to check. Among these 3, we had a clear suspect. It was Madison. I hadn't known her as long as the others, but she was our classmate and we seemed to get along well, so the girls and I decided to add her to the group chat about a month ago. The thing that made us suspect her was the fact that she was really into Clay a while ago, but he didn't pay much attention to her. And that's no big secret since Madison's really open and outspoken. When Clay and I started dating, I had a sincere conversation with her. She said everything was totally fine and that our friendship was not going to be affected. So now I started to think that all of this was some kind of mean, twisted plan of hers to get revenge. But there was no other way to find out other than talking to her. And if she were capable of what she allegedly did, then she would have no problem lying to me about it. That's why I decided to use this simple manipulation trick. After school, we were walking to the bus stop when I suddenly said, "I know what you did." She did not seem to understand. "With the pictures?" I specified. She still seemed puzzled, so after the trick didn't work, or she had nothing to do with it, I started explaining. It all seemed like a surprise for her. I even showed her the screenshots. She looked sad for me over the fact that all of this was happening, and I believed her. More than that, she told me that she was already in love with another guy and that he even asked her out a few days ago. She showed me his pictures, and he was a really good-looking guy who, as she said, was also smart and funny. When I told all of this to Clay, he did not believe her, and he actually got all aggressive and started calling her names and stuff, and I found that suspicious. I still did not think that Clay could have done it, but I had an idea that I had to check into. You see, he has a best friend named Tony. Tony is not very social, so he texts Clay all the time since Clay is basically the only person he interacts with. I've never liked Tony, since, according to what Clay told me, he is toxic and egotistical, but they have been friends since early childhood. I know that this was not the right thing to do, but when I had a chance the next day, I checked the attachments in Clay's chat with Tony, and the pictures were all there. But Clay told me that he did not send them to anyone. I demanded an explanation. Clay seemed devastated, but now he had to tell me the whole story. When we had just started out with our relationship, like first dates and all that, he would send my pictures to Tony to, I guess, show off. And he stopped doing that as we got closer, but after we found the dating profile, he had a serious talk with Tony, and it turned out that he did it. Partly it was a scheme to get extra money by asking people to send it to him on behalf of a cute girl, and partly he was just jealous. Their friendship is now over, but so is my relationship with Clay. Since all this time, he was too scared to tell me the truth. The app blocked the account, and we decided not to go to the police. I'm still not quite sure what lesson I learned here. So please leave your thoughts on my story in the comments, and maybe that will be helpful. And if you've ever had your personal data stolen, please share your stories.